Session 3, we're going to kick things off with another flower announcement. And so we're going to announce what we're calling Batch 2 of our pilot program. The pilot program for Flower is all about accelerating the progress we're making in federated learning, and we can do that in a variety of ways. This particular program has been running for over a year now, and I want to begin, though, by saying, as I start to unroll and describe what the pilot program is all about, start thinking about if you might be a good fit. Start thinking about, oh yes, I'd like to participate in this, and if that's the case, then go to our website here, flower.ai/pilot. There's a great QR code here that you can use to go to that site, and it'll take you to a page that describes all the details about the pilot program. So take a look. The pilot program is a way that we start to collaborate very closely with organizations and individuals who are serious about seeing federated learning and a variety of related technologies deployed, and who want to also help us make the framework and the software even better. And so in the past 12 months, we've worked with a number of organizations, and I want to give you a few examples. And so we can start to, after 1 year, we can start to tell you a few success stories. One example, a success story from Batch 1 of the pilot program is our collaboration with Brave. So Brave was very interested, of course, in being able to maintain strong user privacy, but also being able to provide good user experiences. And some of those user experiences in the domain of advertising require user data. And so something that we worked with them on is how we could enable a Flower client to run in a lightweight fashion within a browser. And so as a consequence now, we have really good Chromium support for the Flower node, and this is an outcome of a pilot program. Another illustrative pilot program is with a group of medical researchers in the US. They have this incredibly ambitious project that they call the Human Anatomical Mapping Project. And so the whole idea here is that they want to be able to start to network medical images from a variety of hospitals towards building models that are not only just 2D but also three-dimensional, and so they can start to sort of move forward the prediction of a variety of illnesses. When we started working with them, they had a research paper, very strong piece of research, understood a lot of the fundamental issues, and then we've been able to migrate that piece of research to the point now that their system built on Flower can actually process real patient data. So this is another example of a pilot program success story. The final one is that you heard about it yesterday. So Gauchon University is one of the early partners in the pilot program, and they've built an extensive FedOps implementation on top of Flower that explores how we can do FedOps in a nice scalable way that users can really access. And so again, this is an outcome of our pilot program where we work with a partner. They've built a serious piece of tooling on top of Flower that enables a new functionality. So these are the types of things that have been successful. If you kind of generalize from those successes, you can start to see the types of examples that we think are canonical examples of people doing successful pilots. So you can have access, for example, to early features of Flower. Some of the exciting features of Flower that have been announced at FS24 this time around could have been in your hands months in advance if you're doing a pilot program with us. So then you could start to iterate with us, explain to us where there might be some areas of improvement in what we're trying to build. And so we really love these types of pilots because it allows us to release the feature to the community that's actually got somewhat hardened through actual usage at a limited scale. Point two is there are a lot of types of pilot programs that are really investigations. People have a machine learning problem. They think that they can use federated learning. Perhaps in some cases they didn't even know federated learning existed, but they had a machine learning problem that actually aligns very well with federated learning, and we help understand and unpack how federated learning can be applied in this case. So it's sort of really a question like, can Flower do X for them? And the final one is that we find people, organizations who want to build federated learning systems. They might be a champion inside their organization. They might want to build, for example, a privacy-preserving system And they're attempting to do this, and they need some assistance. They might have the need of some technical expertise. They might need a particular feature of flower. They might just need someone to help them move this forward in their organization. And we also love these, because these become illustrative lighthouse projects that other people in the community can then look towards, adopt, and perhaps borrow some of the methods that get built. So these are all great examples. Let's talk a little bit about the stages of a pilot program. One, you apply, you know the URL, you've seen the QR code, you can write an application that describes your situation. We find most pilots are unique. We'll follow up with your application with an interview. We try to understand you to see if there's a good match. And if there is, we sort of lean in proportionally to the impact of the project. So we're really looking for high-impact projects. People are very serious about getting something done in one of these areas. And then once we have an agreement, we start to execute. These projects commonly last for 6 months. And there's a definitive aim that we're going after, a particular goal that we jointly agree that should be reached. And after the project is finished, we launch it. And so that means that it means many things depending on the project. We might deliver that code that's an outcome of that project back to the community. They can start to benefit from it. It might be a technical report that describes to someone how something was done so they can then follow. It could be even just a blog post, depending on the scale. So every pilot is unique from my experience, but they're all quite essential for us to be able to work together in a more structured fashion that is sometimes necessary when the outcomes are sort of more ambitious, and kind of where you go next requires a more tight collaboration. So that is the announcement for Batch 2. Batch 1 was so successful, we wanted to release at Flower AI Summit 2024 a call for Batch 2. Please apply if you're interested. We're delighted to talk to you. Thanks.